Hello my crafty friends. So today I'd like to share you another card made with the Impressions Abloom. Last week we did one that used designer series paper. This week we're going to use just cardstock and ink in our die cuts. So again, this is the Impressions Abloom bundle. It comes with the stamps and it comes with all these die cuts that are really fun to use. And this is the card we're going to be making, a thank you card. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll set that aside. We're going to use Crumb Cake and Petal Pink for our ink. And let's get our supplies here. I went ahead and did most of the heavy lifting beforehand. So this is Crumb Cake. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then this is also Crumb Cake, and I use the embossing envelope that comes with the suite, and the embossing is the pressed flowers embossing folder, so use that on here. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we also need a white piece of cardstock for our inside, again 4 by 5 1/4, and our scrap piece of paper, and it's 3/4 inches, but we're going to trim it down, so just couple inches, it will be long enough. And then our die cut pieces. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and glue down my top piece here. So I just want to, it's going to be tone on tone, which and it creates a really cool look with that. And then we'll go ahead and let's go ahead and put let's color in our flowers middles here. So we're going to color them in with the light petal pink, because I just kind of want it to be subtle. So I'm going to get my scrap piece of paper over here and just color these in real quick. I'm gonna use, excuse me, like I said, light petal pink. Just gonna color these in, just to give them a little bit of color. It doesn't take too long, so that's good. Okay, so we're done with those. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and pop these up real quick so that we don't get them lost. So we're just going to put a big dimensional on that one and a mini one on that one. Let's get our regular size dimensional and get our mini one. So let's peel this off. That in the middle. You see it also, you can use, if you wanted to, you could use like a blending brush, a small one, or one of the little daubers to give it a little color in there, but I wanted to give it some color and depth, so I went ahead and cut out with the die cut and then colored it in with the blender pen, or the Stampin' Blends rather. All right, so let's go ahead and we can assemble our flower on here. So this is, again, a good one to use the sticky stuff on the back, but I forgot to do that. So we're gonna work with the glue here. Try not to get too much so it doesn't get everywhere. Let's put a little glue down here. All right. I'm just gonna put it right about here. Give it a little chance to, so if you get a little glue like you did here, you can get your embossing buddy and just go over that, and it takes the sticky out, and it doesn't really change the colors, but it makes it not so sticky anymore. So just get your embossing buddy out and go over until it's not sticky, and yay. So it's your friend. Now I have it on my fingers though. All right, so next thing I want to do is I want to put some glue on the back of this. And so just be careful of these grooves because the glue will go through it. So try to get the glue in spaces that don't necessarily have the cuts on them. And again, you don't need a whole bunch of glue, just a little bit to get it to adhere. And I'm just gonna put my flower like so. I'm just gonna hold it down for a few minutes because it is embossed and there's not a lot of glue. I just want to give it a chance to really adhere well. Okay, and then do the same thing with the little flower. Just put a little glue where there's not a lot of these cuts in the paper. And then we want to glue it down as well. And hold it down for just a minute. Okay, and now we're going to do our leaves. So I'll just put a little glue on each side here. There's a little more than I was intending, but that's okay. We're just going to put it down here at the bottom, like so for one. And then like so for the other one. All right, so now let's do a little bit of stamping. I'm gonna set this aside for right now. My very used scrap paper. Oh well, we're just gonna go with it. So we're gonna stamp the thanks in the crumb cake. And my thanks. Just gonna stamp it here in the middle. And then I didn't like that, so let's do this again. There we go. There, that's better. All right, and then I'm also going to stamp the inside of my card. So I'm going to use Petal Pink for the solid image, and then I'm going to use Crumb Cake for the highlight. I'm just going to kind of get it off the edge of the page here like so. And then that's all we need for this one. And then for the detail, I'm going to use Crumb Cake and try to line this up as best I can. Like so. All right, and then we also need something we don't have out is the middle, which will need the pink again, or the petal pink rather. Let me go ahead and get this out of my, so I'm gonna use this one, and I'm gonna use this one. So I'm gonna use the petal pink for the middle. Voila. And then I'm going to use this one that's got a little pattern on it in the crumb cake. All right, so now we have the inside of our card decorated. All right, so let me go ahead and glue this down. And my glue is getting low. All right, so put this on the inside of my card like so. And then I want to just trim up my thanks like so. Again, this was 3/4 of an inch, and this is 1/2 inch, and this is Petal Pink. So I'm just going to put a little glue here on the back side. This is the one I didn't like so well. And then I'm going to line it up like I want it here. That's a little crooked. All right, so see that's on the back here. Kind of gives you a gauge of how straight or unstraight it is. All right, so that's like I like it. And then I'm just going to snip the end of this off. So this Petal Pink is 1/2 inch and it's 4 inches. Obviously you don't need all 4 inches. So I'm just going to snip that off. And then I'm going to pop this up as well. So this looks a lot longer on this end. So I'm going to trim it up just a little bit more. There we go. All right. Pop that up. I'm just going to line it up here, the edge of my first layer. And then we're going to just put a couple of embellishments on here. Then we'll have a really pretty thank you card. So pretty simple to put together, and just using your cardstock and your stamps, ink, and dies. So very simple. Hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please like this video and share it with your friends. Have a fun and crafty day, my friends. Thank you.